Hello, welcome to Sports by Compian. My name is Stephen Compian, and I have another fantastic episode of Impact Sports here for you guys. Thanks for joining. We're going to be doing a little bit of talking here about some South Africa rugby as they took on Argentina during the Rugby Championship. That series has since concluded. We're going to be talking a little bit more about the first game, which is the one that I actually watched. And another good old South Africa game. And of course, we will be recapping week 3 of the NFL. Not the best week 3 we've ever had, but also not the worst. So anyway, let's get right into it. Going ahead and starting with that South Africa Argentina game. This game ended up 20-36, but there was a moment here where this was a super close game. It was 20-22 with about 12 minutes left to play. However, the Springboks went ahead and took control during these last minutes with their powerful scrums that led into balls. Malcolm Marks finds the try zone to end off the game. But overall, the final score doesn't indicate how close this game was as Argentina was able to bring this back, because there was multiple points where they could have thrown in the towel in this game. They were down big in that first half, came back strong in the second. Really showed some heart. Now, the cool thing about this Argentina team is just how they move the ball, man. So, like I said, this was 22-6 at halftime. But the Argentinians didn't give up. They came out a lot with their fast movement. Now, what they do is they want to throw the ball out to their backs a lot more, and there's always much more passes in general. As you can see here, they had 142 passes compared to the Springboks 67 passes, about 15 offloads. So they look to get into contact, offload that ball to the open space. Had a couple really nice breakthroughs that led to their tries and just excellent ball movement in general, but they couldn't overcome some early yellow cards that had led to a penalty try by their 10 who was offsides, ended up tackling the guy offsides and led to a penalty try there. What are you going to do against this Springboks team? This is a solid rugby team, and we see them just do this week in, week out against very high level competition. It's just they are, they're dominating people. Their scrums are strong. They have forwards that are just knowing how to counter ruck. Look at this defense these guys play. They had 14 turnovers won. I had 147 tackles, and that was because Argentina had the ball a lot in that second half. But as you can see, about only one more missed tackle than the Argentinians had. The Argentinians actually possessed the ball for about 61% of the time, so they had the ball for way longer. But the Springboks was just much more efficient when they did have the ball, and their scrums were quite difficult to deal with. Their mauls. And that is something that has been pretty much the whole world has a hard time stopping these South Africa mauls. So it's not too surprising here. Like I said, they were able to come back, make this a much more interesting game. The next game was a little less close, unfortunately. The second match these guys played, as you can see, it was 38-21. And the next match, I believe that you're not that much further off. Literally 1 point difference. But we're seeing the same thing here with the South Africa team. I haven't seen these guys lose since Sports by Compian's been covering them in the last couple weeks. They always play solid rugby. They're just fun to watch, man, because they just seem to be always be in control, and everything is very calm with them. Shout out to the Argentina Pumas, though. They did play their little hearts out. And, man, that stadium got wild when it was 20-22, and the home crowd thought there was a chance they were going to sneak back in this and steal a win from the world champions. But that's world champion rugby right there. That's how you know you're a good team, whenever the adversity like that arises and you just absolutely crush the opponent and send them into oblivion. So, yeah, the Springboks is in great position here. This this championship thing kind of confuses me, not going to lie. Here on Sports by Compian, we're downright confused. Because apparently South Africa has already won this thing, or maybe it's still going, because it's round 6. So, yeah, that's probably still going then. But basically, the All Blacks definitely delivered a beatdown to Australia. I haven't watched that game, so I'm not going to give you guys too much information about it. Not that I gave you much with the Springboks Argentina game, but you kind of get the picture, man. Watch some international rugby. It's really great times. As far as the football, we had the Browns take on the Steelers to kick off week 3. The Browns just pretty much dominated the ball with the run game a lot. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt both had pretty decent days. Jacoby Brissett did everything he needed to stay in the game, not make any big mistakes. Ultimately, the Steelers' offense still seems to be a little stagnant, a little bit, maybe not showing everything they can do. Mitchell Trubisky, no interceptions, about 207 yards. He's getting a lot of passing attempts, but Najee Harris not really able to get quite going there. As you can see, Nick Chubb had a big day with 113 yards. Kareem Hunt also saw the ball a lot with 12 carries for 47 yards. We had Jacoby Brissett throw 2 touchdown passes and his 220 yards, so that's a pretty great game out of Jacoby Brissett. Amari Cooper with another big day with 100 yards receiving, 1 touchdown. David Njoku finally with a touchdown and 89 yards receiving. It's been a while since Njoku's been involved. I think that's his first touchdown reception of the year, so good for him. Anyway, moving on, we had the Saints and Panthers, and your boy's happy to see this result. Fuck the Saints. Happy to see them having lost to the Panthers. Panthers played a pretty good game. I think this is the score. As you can see here in the end, New Orleans kind of came back in the fourth quarter, but for a large portion of this game, Carolina was just leading 13-0. Winston with another kind of rough day. He had another 2 interceptions today. I mean, I hate to see it, man. I was a fan of Jameis Winston when he was there with the Buccaneers, but he is definitely struggling to find his footing here in the 2022 season. With another 2 interceptions today, he threw for 352 yards, but that is a little bit but that's a little bad indication since it was a lot of garbage time passing that got him those extra yards. They kind of, as you can see, they do their only scoring in the fourth quarter. You're going to want to do some more scoring in those other 3 quarters. But also, don't wish you guys well. Fuck the Saints. But I do wish Jameis Winston well. Texans and Bears. Bears seal this with an interception from Roquan Smith to end out the day. Maybe you got to pay your boy, it sounds like. But David Mills had a rough day with 2 interceptions. Rex Burkhead wasn't able to get anything going on the run game. I don't know what the hell we're doing here with the run. Did they seriously run the ball only 4 times? That can't be right. If it is, that's ridiculous. How's that possible? Anyway. And then we had the Bears. So, unfortunately for me, David Montgomery goes down with an injury. But not unfortunate for the Bears because Herbert had a great week. 157 yards, 2 touchdowns, a 7.9 rushing average. Huge game out of him. But Justin Fields actually helped him out too with 8 carries and 47 yards himself. St. Brown had a really nice long run for about 47 yards. I guess the second one didn't work out as well. But good game out of them. Another reception out of St. Brown. You love to see the St. Brown brothers doing pretty well. But, yeah, tough game for Houston. Still looking for their first win of the season. Chicago is 2-1, which we all saw coming, of course. Early going of the year. We'll see what happens here. We'll hopefully Evan can come on and tell us what he really thinks about all this 2-1 stuff that we're going through. Chiefs Colts. Now this was a huge upset. Last minute game drive by Matt Ryan to put the Colts into a touchdown to win the game. Good for him. They definitely needed that first win, the Colts, to stay relevant. So this was huge for them to be able to win this game. Patrick Mahomes with 1 interception, 1 touchdown, 262 yards. So they relatively kept him in check throughout most of the game. Matt Ryan had a good day, 222 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor kind of kept in check again with 30.4 average on rushes. But at least they stuck with him. He did get 73 yards. Michael Pittman, good to have him back in the starting lineup, I imagine, the Colts for sure. Because he had 72 yards on 8 receptions. That's huge for Matt Ryan. He needs a good target to be able to throw the ball to. This was a big upset. The Chiefs were coming into this game hot, man. They had destroyed the Cardinals. They had that big game against the Chargers on Thursday Night Football. So this was a letdown for them for sure. Colts needed this win to be able to stay involved, stay in the AFC race, so good for them. Furthermore, all right, maybe this is the upset of the week, actually, is Miami Dolphins over the Buffalo Bills, handing the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen their first loss of the season. Came down to the Buffalo Bills went for it on 4th down, right up on the Miami, 1 yard line or so. So I'm here. We support it for sure. Weren't able to convert. Bad pass by Josh Allen. I don't know if he felt the pressure or what, but it's definitely a pass he wishes he could have back. It looks like his receiver had a chance. They ended up sending it to the Dolphins, who then had the craziest thing where they kicked it into the ass of their fucking blocker guy. So that gets sent back into the end zone, and basically the Bills end up with the ball again with a minute 20 to go. Josh Allen gets down, closest to field goal range, wasn't able to get down there to clock the ball. The Miami Dolphins win 21-19. Kind of a sloppy end to that game for sure. Sort of unexpected. I would have thought. And then, of course, that video comes out later of the Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator absolutely destroying the tablet, which I love to see. You want to see guys passionate out here, guys who really fucking care. So it's like when they lose, they're like, yeah, that fucking sucked, and that pissed me off. So I love to see that kind of shit, but this was a huge upset. Tua didn't even have that big of a day. They kind of didn't even throw the ball much with him. I don't know what the heck they were doing. They wouldn't even run the ball much. I didn't watch this game, obviously. But 182 yards. Even Teddy Bridgewater got in there through 2 passes. Did Tua get hurt? He might have. And then he had 1 touchdown pass. But, dude, when you're Josh Allen, you still 400 yards and 2 touchdowns, you still lose. That's a rough day. But hey, Josh Allen, he'll probably be just fine, as will the Bills. Lions fall to the Vikings. The Lions were up in this game 14-0 at one point, and they just let this lead absolutely slip away from them. The Vikings ultimately come back and take the game 21-28. Why did this happen to me? We were doing so well. It was all going great, and then it slipped off into oblivion. Anyway, we're back. So yeah, 24-28. Detroit wasn't able to close out this game. As you can see, they had the lead, but in the fourth quarter, the Vikings scored 2 touchdowns. It absolutely taken in the fourth quarter. They were pretty sad for Jared Goff. That was 1 interception, almost 300 yards, 1 touchdown. Kirk Cousins, 2 touchdown passes. Now continues his streak of, I believe, 34 consecutive NFL games with a touchdown pass. That is a record for sure. He's definitely in the record book right now. There's about 15 or so. So we'll see how much longer he continues his streak for. I hope for a while because everyone hates on Kirk Cousins. So I'm here to see him do anything he can. Good game out of Dalvin Cook. 96 yards for 1 touchdown. Even Matterson found the end zone as well. The Vikings take a nice win, which they needed after getting absolutely thrashed by the Eagles last week. So good for them that they were able to get back into the win column. Not so great for your Motor City Dan Campbell. The Lions, that they fell apart in that fourth quarter. They did lose St. Brown. I think he went down with an injury, so that could have contributed as well. He was already off to a good start. Ravens at Patriots. This game was closer for most of the game. I think it kind of got away from New England here in the fourth quarter. No, actually, in the third quarter, it got away from New England. But either way, this is a New England offense that's still struggling to really impress people, I think. Lamar Jackson, those 4 touchdown passes at 218 yards and runs for another 100 himself. Jesus. What do you do? That's 5 touchdowns from your boy Lamar Jackson. 5 touchdown passes from Lamar Jackson. Looks like they also had a safety. Mac Jones has 3 interceptions, unfortunately, but he does still 300 yards. Looks like they had a good game in the run. Pretty much everyone ran for a touchdown. Mac Jones, Damian Harris, Vernon Stevenson. This was the first probably decent week for anyone who may have hung on to either one of these 2 New England running backs if you were in fantasy. They probably got you double digits. Rashawn Stevenson did, but I bet anyone who had him probably benched him since he's been sucking this season. But anyway, Baltimore pulls off another win, get back into the win column after their upset from Miami last week. They're now 2-1. The Patriots fall to 1-2. Bengals get into the win column finally as they dominate the Jets. We don't need to go too detailed into this. Joe Flacco with a pair of interceptions on the day, I believe. I had the Bengals defense in fantasy, so not too mad about this. We're okay with the results of this one. Hey, but this is actually a really great time for us to go ahead and bring up one of our non-sponsor sponsors of the day, which is going to be Trident. Trident provides some excellent gum, usually sugar-free, or do they even have sugar gum? I don't know. But I don't think all their gum is sugar-free. I don't even know if that pack is. So therefore, you can get it sugar-free, non-sugar-free. Have better breath. You can get great deals for them on Amazon. End up paying probably less than $1 per pack. Pretty crazy. I love to have those in my car at all times. Gum is one of those nice things to have to offer your friends and family and to help with your breath. So therefore, Trident, sponsored sports by the Compian, because why the heck wouldn't you? We're an excellent program. Of course we are. Now anyway, where were we? Right, so the Bengals dominated the Jets. Very sad times for Jet fans who, I don't know, maybe we were hoping for a nice win after after a positive showing against the Browns last week. Anyway, Titans get into the win column too. They were able to beat out the Raiders. Raiders are still searching for answers at 0-3. Comes out today that Devontae Adams is frustrated and angry. Tell you what, as a Rockford Raven who is 0-3, I feel you, Devontae Adams. Not happy with this whole 0-3 business. Not a good time. In case anyone was wondering how the Rockford Ravens did over the weekend, women's game was canceled, unfortunately. But your Rockford Ravens did travel on down to Schaumburg, Illinois, and we met the Woodsmen there in battle. Once again, we took a little nappy in the first half this time. If you've been paying attention to the Sports by Compian or to the Rockford Ravens this season, we took a nap in the first half of our first game, woke up in the second half, played much better, not enough. Second game, we went ahead and played great in the first half. Second half, we took a nap, ended up losing. Third game, this time we did the same thing as the first one. Another nap in the first half. Guys didn't want to tackle. Big bodies coming around. People don't want to hit them. Real weird. I don't know. Strange. But yeah, Rockford Ravens drop another one in the first half that we couldn't come back. Second half, we scored some tries. Not enough. 0-3. So I feel ya, Devontae Adams. I, too, am frustrated and angry about the whole 0-3 business. Not my favorite. But you know what? We both just got to keep working, Devontae. We both just got to keep grinding, man. Luckily, you have 16 games. I only have 6. So, yeah. And not enough time for me to turn it around, that's for sure. Moving on. Derek Carr over here with 300 yards and 2 touchdown passes. 1 interception. I'm sure that was a pivotal interception. Josh Jacobs. That's getting some nice carries here. That's 13 carries for Josh Jacobs. 66 yards, a 5.1 average. Pretty good. It's a pretty good average for your boy. The only one who had better was Brendan Bolden with 5.7. Oh, and Derek Carr had a couple nice carries. Mac Holmes. I don't know who that is, but big day for him receiving, man. Holy cow. 158 yards with 1 touchdown reception. Devontae Adams only had one touchdown catch for 36 yards, but he did have 5 receptions. But man, yeah, Mac Holmes. Look out for him in fantasy, I guess. See how he did the first 2 weeks. Ryan Tannehill had a Ryan Tannehill type of game. 264 yards, 1 touchdown pass, and 1 interception. Derrick Henry finally, thank baby Jesus, got back on pace this season. If you were a Derrick Henry owner like me in fantasy, I'm sure you stuck with him, as you should. He's a first-round pick. If you benched him after 2 bad weeks, it's on you that you didn't get to benefit from his good week this week. But he certainly had one. Found himself the end zone, plus 85 yards, and 4.3 average. Not bad. The Tennessee Titans find themselves back in the win column. Oakland Raiders searching for answers. Anyway, we got over here the Eagles took on the Commanders. This was actually quite a dominant game for the Eagles. They look good throughout this whole thing. They're starting to look like a pretty scary team, guys. That's a 3-0 team right there. I think pretty likely to take the NFC Northeast. It's going to be hard. The Cowboys are going to have to show something. But, hey, they got a game against the Giants tonight, which I'm disrespecting the Giants, who are 2-0 right now, too. So I think tonight will tell us a lot about what's going to happen with that NFC battle. That NFC East battle. Guys, this was a heck of a game. What happened here, huh? Jaguars absolutely dominate the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, of course, this is a Los Angeles Chargers team that was dealing with Justin Herbert at quarterback who had fractured or broken ribs the week before. So it's not surprising that he didn't quite have his best game. Although I don't think he played necessarily bad. Yeah, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But we'll get to him in a minute here. Trevor Lawrence, really good day for him over the air. 262 yards, 3 touchdown passes. James Robinson hits the 100-yard mark today with 17 carries and 1 touchdown. Travis Etienne, they're happy to have him back in the lineup. He had 13 carries for 45 yards and a pair of receptions as well. How many receptions did Mr. Etienne get? He had 3 receptions and 30 yards. They're running him on a couple screens. Christian Kirk has been great, man. It's been awesome to have this guy. He's been solid in fantasy. If you have him in fantasy, he's been absolutely solid the last 3 weeks. Really playing like a number 1 receiver for them over there. But Zay Jones with a huge 10-reception day, 85 yards, 1 touchdown. If you remember, he had a pretty big year last year with the Oakland Raiders. So good to see some Jaguar receivers performing out here, man. Marvin Jones has been there for a little while. He found himself a touchdown late in the game. This was crazy. I don't think anyone saw this one coming. I think people are going to take the Jaguars a little more seriously, just like we're going to have to start taking the Eagles, seriously. Looking like some studs out here in these first 3 weeks. Justin Herbert, not the worst day, but man, you don't want to see him taking 45 attempts whenever he's this injured. And like they were not running the ball at all. As you can see, absolutely not much going on with the run. Austin Eckler only had 4 carries for 5 yards. Not sure what was going on there. Did they get him some passes? Yeah, they threw him the ball a lot. He had 8 receptions, but slow day out of the Chargers offense. Josh Palmer with 6 receptions, 99 yards. Mike Williams is pretty much invisible other than 1 touchdown catch that he had for 15 yards. Chargers definitely need some answers here at 1-2 now. I don't know what's going on with that. It's pretty suspicious. What I did think was kind of crazy is like there was one point where I think it was like 31-10 or some crazy shit, and like 5 minutes, 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and fucking the Chargers coach put Justin Herbert back in the game. I'm like, Staley, what are we doing here, dude? That dude has broken ribs, and you guys are not going to come back here. Seemed a little crazy to me, but you know, what do I know? I'm not an NFL coach. Rams, Cardinals. This was kind of a rough game because I had a lot of people in fantasy who were involved in this game, and like there was very little scoring. Early on, you know, LA jumped out to a 10-0 lead and then another field goal, but it was kind of a boring game for sure. Like there was just a lot of defense going on here, which I'm not mad at. You know, there was a couple other ones that we're gonna get to a very important one that was a defensive game, but Matthew Stafford with no touchdown passes on the day, 249 yards. Cam Akers, 61 yards rushing with 5.1 average, pretty decent. A couple big carries by this fine gentleman here. Where did he go? Dale Henderson. Never mind, he's gone. But Cooper Kupp did get his first rushing touchdown that game, so that's pretty interesting. We also saw Kyle Murray dancing around doing his Kyle Murray type of things. He definitely kept them in this. 58 attempts, which is insane. 314 yards passing. Not much on the ground game. James Conner couldn't find anything with 13 carries for 39 yards. Ouch. Marquise Brown had a big game. Had 140 yards. 14 receptions. If you had him in a PPR league, I'm sure you were happy with his production. I had Zach Ertz. Not a bad week out of him. He actually dropped a bunch of passes. He had 6 receptions. I'm sure a couple other ones escaped him, like 10 targets. So, yeah. Kyle Murray was throwing the ball a lot, man. 17 targets to Hollywood Brown. That's pretty crazy. But ultimately, they fall short to their division rivals. The Rams go to 2-1. Cardinals find themselves at 1-2. That NFC West is going to be interesting to watch. Absolutely. Falcons go ahead and take the win over the Seahawks. This was a back and forth bout, as you can see by the score. Geno Smith didn't actually play that terrible. He had a pretty good game. But ultimately, the Falcons were able to control the ball, stay in it, keep the Seattle to field goals, and then ultimately led to their win. Marcus Mariota with 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Geno Smith 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 325 yards passing. Not bad. If you're a Rashad Penny fan, you're probably happy to see him get 66 yards. Still not great. Still no end zone for him. Falcons was Cardell Patterson, man. I dropped this guy in one of my leagues because it's like a 6-man league. Don't be hating on me. But anyway, 17 carries for 141 yards and a touchdown. Like he's balling out. Had a slow league last week. He's right back already. They relied on him heavily. He had an 83-yard average. You know, you love to see it. That's gonna be their weapon this year is Cardell Patterson, as he was last year for them. Kyle Pitts finally had a big week. A couple big catches out of him for sure. So anyway, Falcons go ahead and take that game. As you can see, my Tampa Bay Buccaneers fell 12-14. What a great game this was to watch. We saw the opening drive of the Buccaneers go down there. Went and got a field goal. Looking like, all right, we're moving the ball well enough. Green Bay comes out, gets a quick touchdown. Okay, let's see if we can do better. Quick punt. Green Bay gets another touchdown. This is 14-3. It's looking really bad, boys. I was straight up worried, especially since we punted yet again. But the Packers went ahead and got the ball, drove it all the way down the field. This was about to be 21-3 before halftime. Big play by Vita Vea. Absolutely rocks Aaron Jones in the end, close to the end zone. Fumbled by Green Bay. Recovered by our Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Unfortunately, as we were driving it down the other way, Rashad Perriman fumbles the ball in the Green Bay after a big carry but big catch for him, like 49 yards or something. Dude fumbles the ball in Green Bay territory. Halftime. Great times. Well, I mean, they got the ball back and then they went 4 and out and punted. 3 and out, sorry. So, third quarter happens and the Bucs defense came out pretty strong. We were able to get another stop there. But then the Buccaneers, as they were driving, throwing the ball to Russell Gage, another catch over the middle, gets absolutely stripped, fumble for the second time in 3 possessions. Yeah, well, I mean, if you count the end of this half. So really, 2 fumbles in a row for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense. They looked absolutely atrocious out there. Brian Leff was just some of the worst play calling I've ever seen, dude. It was ridiculous. Like, man, all right, I've already been on the train that this guy kind of sucks at play calling. But the dude, like, all he knows how to do is run the ball on first down and then throw it for the next 2. And just, there's no protection. People aren't getting open. And when you fucking are going 2nd and 10 and 2nd and 9 and 2nd and 8 every single time, it's really hard for Tom Brady to find people to throw the ball to, man. Fucking Brian Leftwich, dude. This guy, we get a huge reception in the second half. And it's like one of the only receptions we've had all game to get anything fucking going. And his immediate response is to do some kind of retarded triple reverse action nonsense that, of course, results in a fumble that loses his 12 yards. Tom Brady gets sacked the next play, I'm sorry. 3rd and 30. After we just had like a huge reception to Darden to put us by the midfield. Oh, so frustrating. Like, dude, just work with us. We're finally having some big plays. Let your offense roll. Like, let's get into field goal range, get a fucking field goal, something. Jesus. Anyway, Aaron Rodgers ended up throwing an interception here to Logan Ryan. God bless you, Logan Ryan. You absolute stud. Keep it up. He has a fumble recovery and an interception already for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the 2 games he's been active, so God bless him. Maybe he's been active for all 3 of our games, actually. I'm not sure. But we finally were going to get a field goal and get into range because of the interception. Punt. This was the punt I was talking about where the fucking Buccaneers absolutely nuked it. We started right here. Could have had so much potential that drive, and they just punted it again. As you can see here, so hold on, let's count this since the start of the second half. So fumble, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 punts in the second half, besides your fumble and field goal. So yeah, that's 6 possessions to do something. Just do something. This defense gave this team so many opportunities to win this game. Logan Hall with his first career NFL and sack. You'll absolutely love to see it. He got it against your boy Aaron Rodgers, so that's a really cool stat for him. His first ever sack is against Aaron Rodgers. End of the game, Buccaneers have a long drive, a 2-minute drill. Get down in there, get a touchdown to Russell Gage. Beautiful catch by him over the middle. Redeemed himself after that fumble. 2-point attempt happens. Delay of game because why would our offensive coordinator not already have a play ready to go? No. Let's wander around, stumble in, and bump into each other some more, and have a fucking delay of penalty on one of the most pivotal fucking plays in the whole game. But anyway, yeah. So delay of penalty. The next play, apparently, our play shows up on the jumbotron. So Aaron Rodgers sees it and starts yelling it to the defense, and they, of course, covered the fuck out of it. 2-point conversion fails. Go for the onside kick. Apparently, Antoine Winfield ran right by it. I didn't see this. That's what one fan said. You definitely look it over yourselves. I mean, I think I definitely saw somebody running right by it. So that was frustrating. So many opportunities to win this game. It's just insane. And, like, the Buccaneers just didn't want this. We just did not want to win this game. And the Buccaneers' offense just looked absolutely terrible. On the bright side, our defense looks champion caliber. Like, other than that early going with those first 2 touchdowns, Aaron Rodgers was mostly kept in check. Now, that's still an offense that's kind of struggling to find themselves right now, but still very encouraging to see. We have a championship level defense right here. We've shut down 3 teams in the last 3 weeks. The last 3 weeks we had Cowboys scored 3, fucking Saints got 10, and then 4, and then these guys. So that's 27 points 3 weeks. We'll fucking take that all day and twice on Tuesday. Russell Gage with 12 receptions, like I said, 87 yards. Fumbles. Rashad Perriman he had 2, and he lost 1. Jesus, Perriman. Well, he's probably counting that one that was just terrible pass off to fucking Scotty Miller. Oh, man, I think we've seen enough out of Scotty Miller. I love the kid. He looks really cool, but yeah, he's just not making receptions. He's not getting open. It's very rough to see. I don't know why Logan Hall's sack isn't listed here. That's a stupid overlook. Get your lives together. How are you not going to list his sack, you fucking noobs? Well, anyway, you'll have to take my word for it. Do they have Joe at least here? Because I think Joe got one. I guess he didn't get a sack. Yeah, tackle for loss. Is that what we're calling it? Instead of a sack? No. No, you guys just don't list it because you're idiots. Alright, well, whatever. Yeah, so ultimately, I'm very encouraged by what I'm seeing from this Buccaneers defense. I'm not super alarmed. I mean, we lost by 2 points to a pretty good football team, and on a game where, like, it was just an absolute disaster from start to finish. So, can't be too mad at it. Sunday night game would look like an absolute fiasco. I was kind of watching the highlights, which is to say there was none. Broncos pull off an 11-10 victory. It looked like one of those ones where Jimmy Garoppolo kind of lost track of where he was, steps out for safety, and ended up being very costly in these very tight defensive matches. Broncos are 2-1, and like it's kind of crazy that they're 2-1 because they've been nibbling teams out. Like they are literally the definition of nibbling victories out right now. It's pretty crazy, but you know you can't be too much of a hater. They're out here 2-1, so fucking that's the same as the Buccaneers. But they, like the Buccaneers, need to figure our schedule out for sure. So yeah, lost to them. Then they nibbled out Houston last week, and now they nibbled out San Francisco. So good for them. 2-0. The Cowboys Giants game has already started. Let's have a look and see how that's going. Oh, 6-0. I mean 6-2-3 Giants. I wonder if that was a touchdown, missed extra point. Anyway, guys, appreciate you tuning in to Sports by Compian. You're going to see a lot of these type of programs sometimes where it's just me here breaking shit down because, frankly, I'm the one who runs this podcast and the one who cares the most about it. I like doing it. I am the one who started this whole thing. Sometimes there's people just don't want to come on with me, and that's fine because ultimately I'm here to talk about sports. If you want to watch it, cool. I appreciate it. Sports by Compian. Out.